Wokeness and baroqueness, wokeness and baroqueness go together like Florida and oldness. This is Telltale, brother. You can't have one without the other.
Look, we're all keen to the fact that the modern industry has the unbridled economic acumen of my dog trying to deep-throat a nickel. But even by those calamitous criteria, Telltale are a failure apart. A company who managed to fuck up a Batman game at the height of Batmania, no less, and hot on the heels of their greatest commercial success, The Walking Dead, selling barely over 500,000 copies in the process, which I have to believe barely paid for the fucking license. The utter implosion of Telltale, it's not a AAA failing, but a solemn chronicle of easily the most ass-backward business model ever adopted by a major studio. What is that business model? Step 1, shell out shitloads of shekels on prohibitively expensive entertainment licenses. Step 2, tell us it'll be an Olympian exercise in divergent choice and consequential action, that it'll redefine fucking storytelling for a generation or more. And step 3, phone that fucking game in from orbit. Shit it out harder than Sterling on a White Castle binge. And in lieu of all the consequential choicifying you lied your living asses off about, you bottleneck that bullshit so it ends essentially the same fucking way regardless of your button press. And bafflingly, for a good long while, it kinda fucking worked! Look, the writing was on the wall, and I wasn't the first or fucking fifth to point out that the episodic approach had the shelf life of sour cream on a windowsill, but for a fair few years there, the gaming media was convinced the Telltale approach was undeniably the fucking future. But I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Not all futures are utopian space commie Star Trek bullshit. Some are fucking Blade Runner. I'm not saying which one this is, but Telltale died just in time for 2019. A company whose primary economic knowledge was houses are green and hotels are fucking red. And speaking of red, did I mention their politics are pinker than a pussy hat parade? I'm not saying it's a contributor to their collapse, mostly because until they were already tanking, most of us were gleefully unaware of their pretentious posturing and interacted with Telltale the same way we always had. Not playing their overrated goddamn games. But if get woke, go broke isn't an economic exigency, it's at a bare minimum an ironclad curse. BioWare Montreal, Arcane, every Austin studio that ain't named Other Side. If I were EA, I'd be eating meat mountains and smoking Marlboros between stints at the NRA fucking rifle range. Because being a preachy-ass shitlib in contemporary gaming, particularly if your product reflects your predilections, appears about as profitable as selling scuba suits on the Serengeti. We all know correlation is not causality, but come on! What do you need me to hire a skywriter? We don't need Pat Buchanan to write the fucking things because mostly we just don't want politics of any kind in our games, and I say this as someone who started out in political talk radio and covered games much, much later. If politics in games have a nexus point, I've set up shop at the base of its ballsack, and even I want to purge that socio-political piss and winery from my pew-pew games. I mean, look at my audience. Many are utterly indifferent, but an overwhelming plurality are at a minimum politically aware gamers. On the surface, my comments section has more potential targets than a Vatican pajama party. In practice, ask any one of them and they'll say fuck off with your politics and tell me what castle my princess is in. And that goes for right-wing bias as well, incidentally. I don't need you to turn Call of Duty into an NRA commercial any more than I needed an interracial fucking Frenching scene between two dudes in my goddamn Dracula RPG there, vampire. Yeah, there's a period-appropriate occurrence for a game set in the 19-teens. The alternate universe World War I, where Edith Cavil went muff diving with Mata Hari and the Black Hand was wrapped around a black cock. But now I'm just giving Battlefield ideas. So au revoir, Telltale, rest in pieces, we hardly played ye, but embedded beneath the headstone is a solemn message to the until yawns in Detroit become gameplays of the world. You can straddle that cinematic line all you like, but venture too far up B-movie mountain without a Sherpa to guide your actual gameplay, there's a 9 in 10 chance you'll be buried under it. I'm Razor Fist. God fucking speed.
I don't care for lies.